Hello. BrewTroller.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you got a lot of background noise.
I do.
Yeah, like,
It's completely silent in here.
do you hear anything coming from me?
No, you sound fine. Who all's on this thing right now?
Not me at the moment.
Hmm.
Everyone,
It says Adam, Kevin, and Keel up at the
Kyle.
top. Kyle.
What else we got here?
I'm moving.
Yeah. Hey, Kyle. You were in Wes's house.
Yeah, this is a tour of my house while I got asked to move downstairs because it was distracting. Well, that's okay because I have beer down here.
I already have beer. Kevin, welcome. Get all your chores done tonight, Kevin? That's funny. Yeah, okay.
What the heck? Oh, I've got the wrong camera facing. There we go.
Kevin, do I need to knock him upside the head?
What was that?
Sure. Not a bad choice.
Hey, I got some, so I gotta drink it.
Went with that.
Moo-hoo.
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
I don't know who else, if anyone's coming with them. I'm waiting for my browser to pick up. Can you hear me okay? I can hear you. Adam. Hi, Ashley.
You guys hear me?
Loud, but I'm gonna put you on now.
What? Alright, can you hear me now? Hey, there we go.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Cool. So I'm just going to hold this face on my webcam the entire time that we're talking.
You do that. All right,
I'm just clearly throwing you words.
how do I unmute Wes? Can you unmute yourself, Wes?
Maybe. Is that? Can you hear me?
Yeah, when you're unmuted, we're getting still, but whatever.
Hold on. How about now?
Yeah, that's better.
Must have been the headphones.
Damn headphones. Let's see.
I'm gonna do Adam's, or I'm gonna do Kyle. Here, I'll do Kyle's first.
Not the other way. The crazy thing is that that's the way Kyle looks even when you see him in person.
Yeah, I know. It's weird. Caught my stroke there now.
Here. You know, Damien said it could be here later.
Having a hard time hearing you.
Huh?
I was having a hard time hearing you.
I'll talk loud. Eric said he may be able to make it. That's about it. Nicole's going to join us now. started to get loud again, Wes. I muted you.
Can you hear me with like a lot of background noise now?
Oh.
It sounds like there's a cloud sharing behind you. Actually, exactly what the problem is your output was going into your input.
Yeah, muted. Okay. Alright, just got a message from Damien. Right there, now what's that right here?
Oh, I thought that was a blunder.
Hi, Damien. Alright, let's get started. I'll stop playing, mostly. Alright, so, I think this is all that, let me double check the group. This is all that will probably be here. Okay, so, alright, so what we're going to talk about in particular is basically what is going on between now and the beginning of the Kickstarter and kind of the immediate future from there, and then what, if anything, you guys want to, are willing to, or can do to help, or if you have any ideas. So I'd like to first start by saying thank you, in particular to Damien for doing some awesome video stuff and still doing some awesome video stuff for us. Wes helping me understand what Reddit is, which I'm embarrassed about. And oh, Damien's getting a beer too. That looks like a fat tire. Hi, Jess. All right. So, and then Eric, who is not here tonight, who's been the primary developer for the firmware stuff, he's done some pretty awesome stuff with kind of eliminating the need for using the Arduino IDE to actually work on BrewTroller. So we're making some big progress there. So the plan is, assuming that the video is done here relatively quickly, Friday, that I want to launch the Kickstarter within the next 2 weeks. Once the Kickstarter launches, it's going to get a little crazy because, of course, I'm going to have to be doing a lot of answering of various bits and pieces, questions from contributors and blah, 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 blah. But in order to make that part of it successful, there's some things I'm going to need help with. And I've already asked Wes to kind of look at some of these things too, but anything that you guys, any of you could do would be helpful in terms of finding places that that would let us come on and either be interviewed or would put a little blurb on their blog or something, blogs or forum posts or, subreddits. Did I use that word right? And so forth. Places that would be willing to promote a Kickstarter for free because there's not really any money to spend on advertising. We might be able to work something out, but there's not a whole lot there. So I'm looking for help with that, finding blogs, finding podcasts, finding YouTube channels that like to talk about homebrew and homebrew equipment, that would, that are looking for an article to run or a story to do on a Kickstarter that is relaunching a product that's been there for a long time. So I will need that help, and that help we need starting now and through the end of the Kickstarter, which could be about. I'm not going to go any longer than 30 days, I don't think. I'm still going back and forth on how much I'm going to ask for on the Kickstarter. I'm a little conflicted about it. Yeah, so I'm not sure how much that's going to be yet, but I'll get there soon and get it all figured out. For those of you who haven't kind of been in the know for a while, I have decided to drop the BX2 board from the Kickstarter, so we're only offering one board in the Kickstarter. So if anyone asks you about that, or anyone who actually already knows what a BrewTroller is and where's the BX2, it's just manufacturing what would end up being 3 boards in order to accomplish that task. So that being said, I was hoping to make sure you all had access to the new web store tonight, so that you guys could take a look at that too and help me beta test that if you're willing. But I'm waiting on a change to mod security. It has to be done by Lunar Pages, which is our new host, before I can leave the necessary to allow that to happen. So I'm still waiting for them. So that'll come soon.
Okay, hey Adam, can I stop you for a second?
Yeah.
Do you have some type of testing plan drawn up that you'd like us to follow?
I don't.
Okay. Would you mind putting together some type of quick testing plan?
I can. Yeah, I can
just
do
so
that.
we can.
Yeah, I can do that.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I'll get that out to you guys, probably via the Facebook group. If you haven't signed up, speaking of groups, if you haven't signed up for Slack yet, or you don't even know what Slack is, so if you don't know what Slack is, that makes up for the fact that I don't know what Reddit is.
That's not true. I'm not a programmer.
Slack is for more than programmers. In fact, Kyle McEwen just joined our Slack group.
What's a Slack group?
So
Well,
Slack.
Don't use this meeting to tell me about it. I'll figure it out.
Well, in general, Slack is just a communication tool that allows you to share documents, search past communications among the group, and kind of organize small groups, to help facilitate discussions and collaborative work. It's basically a really, really well-rounded chat and search for the chat, along with being able to attach things. So I think that would be a good spot for, if one or two guys are working on the same thing, kind of hop in together and, share ideas and whatever, if you don't want to do a hangout or whatever that situation might be. So that's what Slack is. If you need an invite, let me know. Damien, did you get an invite?
Send me an invite.
We'll do that right now.
Send me an invite too. I don't think I have that.
All right. Both of those. Me? It's being a little slow, so I'll do it as I'm talking. All right, so web store, Kickstarter, very soon. In case you're curious, and I can send you guys a link to the demo of the Kickstarter. But there will be a dollar level, which is just a thank you. There will be a $50 level, which is a custom mash paddle, and by custom, it actually has your name imprinted on it. For $210, not including the early bird, you get a BrewTroller, and then you can add to that a build kit, which is like the power supply, the LCD backpack, and the cables and the encoder for another. I need to relook at the pricing on that, but it'll probably be $70, is my guess. So those are the levels of the Kickstarter, and I know I talked to Wes a little about this last week. Does anyone have any opinions about those reward levels? Either is that too many? Is that not enough? Is that are the prices okay? Do we need higher? Do we need lower? Does anybody have an opinion on that?
I actually had a thought on a lower level item that would be like
not the $50 mark, but maybe you have to price them out. But what about like a pint glass with the BrewTroller logo? Maybe with $20, $25 somewhere in there. So someone who wants to contribute that maybe already has a BrewTroller, but doesn't want to pay $50 for a mash panel. What do you think?
I did look at. I did look at glassware, and without knowing, it was too volume dependent. So the quantities that we would have to order in order to make it profitable were too high, I think. And there's also a little bit of gray area there. Technically, the terms of service from Kickstarter are you can't offer rewards that aren't made by the owner of the business, right? I think they leave some leeway for things like T-shirts and stickers and so on and so forth. So I'm a little concerned that if I were to add something that I might be pushing that boundary a little bit, but maybe I just misunderstand the Kickstarter terms of service. I don't know for sure, but I did look at T-shirts, and I think we can do T-shirts at a reasonable price in that kind of $20, $25 range. And I've already got a logo. I mean, it'd be really easy to do T-shirts, and there's actually a local guy who has no minimum orders in minimum order quantities at a relatively reasonable price. So that's a possibility.
Are they still doing shirts?
Deer Track Designs?
No, never mind.
Yeah.
Denzin Designs out of Leroy or something like that.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know if they're still in business.
No, Deer Track's the guy that, oddly enough, I bought my my pistol from him, and kind of took me on a tour of his shop, and he just actually bought a apparel printer instead of silk screening, which is actually really cool. So, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. So yeah, so that there is some thought for a middle reward level. I haven't decided for sure. I've given a lot more thought to a higher reward level, but I don't know for sure. I just don't know what to offer at a higher reward level that's really a reasonable thing to offer, more than just one person.
You should offer lunch with the owner of BrewTroller, airfare and lunch not included.
That would be BrewTroller, Damien.
Whatever.
So in other words, they pay me to come out and have lunch with them.
No. They pay you, and then they fly out to you, and then you meet them at like Baja Fresh or something.
Nah.
And you sign their BrewTroller for them. An autographed BrewTroller.
Autographed BrewTroller. That's an interesting idea. You really think someone would do that?
Gold-plated
Well, the other thing, gold-plated. Well, technically, isn't it gold-plated if it's conductive?
Well, it's got
gold
on it.
There you go. Well, you could offer a signature series or a first run. So you could do, at one of the higher levels. So you get one of the first runs, which includes 2 years of email support. I don't know.
That's an interesting idea.
You could. I don't know if there's a way that you could include some. You probably can't do alcohol per se, but you could include a special surprise for beer lovers.
That particular thing is very well documented. That you can't even hint at the concept, or they will shut down your Kickstarter. Yeah, I thought about that. Any other ideas?
Happy endings?
I don't want to be in the happy ending business.
You could do something where like X amount of recipes are included with your BrewTroller.
Recipes. Now there's an interesting idea. Preloaded?
Well, are you loading firmware on there before you ship them, or do they load firmware?
No, we'll load firmware before we ship them.
Okay. Well, and loading recipes on there is a no cost to you thing, right?
Yeah. So then I wonder how. I mean, I've got my own recipes that I could just give away. I guess I don't have a problem with that. But what is 5 recipes enough to really make it worth it, or is someone going to want 10 recipes or 30 recipes? The controller will hold 25, so
Only 25 recipes?
25 recipes. That's all there is room in the firmware.
Yeah, and you're being like Apple.
What? Why do you need more than 25 recipes?
Skittish with the memory.
Most people are with the web app are just going to download, put a brand new recipe on the day that they brew anyway.
As long as the ports are aligned.
Ports.
Anyway.
Right.
That's funny. It's a beer. It's a port. Right? No. Okay.
Yeah, no.
Okay. So what's next?
Lost me there. All right, hold on. Hey Wes, what's your email?
Wesley.drew@gmail.com.
Okay, I'm back. Okay. Sorry.
All right. All right. Invites are sent. All right. So,
What?
yeah.
Sorry. What are you inviting?
Into Slack, which you're already there.
Oh, cool. I'm there. Yeah. Sorry, my computer crashed.
Must have been a Mac.
I think I do have the group chat open, but I think it's hidden.
But I do have this now, so that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Look at that.
You're like a gamer or something.
Pretty much.
Why am I not seeing it? Oh, hey, camera. Nice.
There you go. So Nicole says on the group chat that the jump from 50 to 200 is a big jump. What does everyone think about that?
I would say that's probably true.
Okay.
I am not sure how to fix that, but I agree that that's a big jump.
You cut out right at the time you were saying something. What was it that you were talking about?
The cool thing we need 100 to 100. What I could do is offer, and Wes and I talked about this kind of briefly. I could offer a accessory level pack of some kind that would be universal even to other controllers, like say
you could do a couple SSRs. You could do
motorized ball valves.
Switches. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting thought. And the lead time on those isn't too bad. I could get those out pretty quick. And I know what my cost is. That's an interesting idea. And temp probes. Temp probes is a great idea. Good job, Nicole.
Probes.
Nicole doesn't have her camera on.
She doesn't have her audio on either.
Yeah, because it was echoing badly because she's just right there.
That's why you use your headphones.
Headphones, schmedphones. I have a Mac. Right, Kevin?
That's the problem right there.
That explains why his video is so bad.
No, my video is bad because of light. It'd be better if I did that. Or that. No, it's not really better.
Okay, back on topic, please. Some of us, it's 10:30 and during finals.
Yeah, well, you're studying action script. I'm not worried.
No, I have biology.
Bio. All right. So that's Kickstarter. We talked about the website.
Video.
Video, yeah.
Real quick. So editing on that, I'm going to have, let's see, I'm going to have a little bit of time tomorrow. Friday, I've got a conference, and then the evening should be okay. Saturday I've got a conference, and then Boy Scout camp out until Sunday afternoon, and then at some point I have to study for my final on Monday.
Okay.
And we have a small group on Sunday night.
So you're saying
I'm saying that if I can find a spare 30 minutes, I can probably bang it out.
All right. Well, that'd be a good thing. Because we
know.
are go
Yeah.
with that.
And at some point I have to sleep.
Yeah. We both know you don't do that, so.
It's also true.
All right. Well, I think once, and I've got to do some work on the way the actual story in the Kickstarter looks, but we should be pretty close to being ready to do that. I posted a link on the group chat to the Kickstarter preview if you want to look. You don't necessarily have to right now, but just kind of if you want to see.
It is a 404.
404. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I got to do something differently. Hold on. Try that. See if that works.
That one loads.
Beautiful. Thank you. All right. So at any time, if you want, feel like making a suggestion, you know, send me a message and go forth with that. So kind of looking forward past the Kickstarter, I did get word from the manufacturer that the part that has the long lead time that I was worried about. So if you haven't kind of been involved in this at all, at least this side of it, there was one part, one component, one tiny little thing that goes on the board that had a lead time of 16 to 20 weeks just to get the part. And of course, they can't even start making the board until they have all the parts. So I was really concerned about.
I'm sorry. 20 weeks.
16 to 20 weeks. Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, they're just, and I even started looking through Alibaba specifically, just looking if I could just buy the part directly from the manufacturer. The manufacturer didn't have one. I found one place that had a minimum order quantity of like 100,000 units, which is, you know, about 990, or yeah, it's 100 times more units than I need, and of course can't afford to purchase. But that component is on the BX. So now that we're no longer manufacturing the BX, at least for the run, our lead time's back down to 6 to 8 weeks for manufacture. So we should be shipping relatively quickly after the end of the Kickstarter. Because that's the case. Oh, yeah.
Stop playing with your pen. Thank you. Those of us with headphones don't like the clicky.
So anyway, so with that being said, we've got a relatively short runway to get the software improvements in place. And I was hoping Eric could be here so that he could talk about the firmware improvements. But in particular, we need to get the web app finished, all the features that we want in it, and then it, nice and prettied up. And then some of you heard me or may have read about me having this idea to do a recipe database. I think I'm going to abandon that if BrewToad does want to kind of get on board with the concept of integration with their recipe creation tool. I have talked to Beersmith as well, but he just seems really confused, and like I don't think he has any clue what I'm talking about. So I don't hold a lot of hope that we'll get anywhere there. but BrewToad is, a very heavily used platform as well. So I still do need help. So if you can help with development, or of course eventually with testing, or if you know someone who can help with development or testing, let me know, because we could definitely use the help.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you send me all the hardware and stuff, I'll set one up and I'll brew and I'll test for you.
If I had hardware to send, you'd each have one.
I got a vendor selling me $40,000 worth of equipment for $1, so that they can get in the door.
Nice.
Of course, I've got inspector general and ethics and house governance issues. But anyway,
What do you mean?
I'm saying I'll give you $1 if you give me a brew setup.
Again, if I had a brew setup to give you, and you were willing to work for it, I would give it to you. But I have two. I have the one that's going to Brian, and mine. And you can't have mine, because that's what I develop on. But once we really get going with the development, I'll make sure that my dynamic DNS is working correctly, and you can just reach out and touch mine anytime you want.
I really don't want to reach out and touch yours.
But it's so touchable. All its ports are open.
All right, move on.
You're no fun today.
It's 10:30. I want to go to bed.
9:30. Move back to the Midwest.
Move to Virginia.
Hi, Nicole. All right, so if you're willing to help, we could definitely use it. Even if you just want to accomplish one tiny little thing, just let me know. And in general, the help I will need from a development standpoint is going to be JavaScript, almost exclusively JavaScript, and then testing.
That's all web front end?
What? Just got a dirty look from Nicole. Yeah, it's all web front end.
Okay.
All the back end stuff will be handled by Eric and his group.
Take it from him, Nicole.
What?
Thank you. I don't know what it's.
Stop! All right. So, to I guess in conclusion, and asking for seeing if you guys have any questions or anything you want to bring up, I'll kind of recap. The Kickstarter I want to get going in the next 2 weeks. So what we're dependent upon there is me finalizing what I want to ask for dollar-wise, the look and feel of the story, and then the video, and then reward levels. So give some thought to reward levels. If you guys come up with any ideas, just let me know. That's the Kickstarter in the next 2 weeks. During the Kickstarter, and this is probably the thing I need the most help with now, is finding places that want to do a story about this Kickstarter at no cost to us. So, blogs, video, YouTube channels, podcasts, any of that kind of stuff. So you can see one.
With that, have you reached out to the Brewing Network about any of that?
I've not reached out to the Brewing Network. So far, I've sent an email to the Mad Fermentationist and to the Basic Brewing, whatever that group is. Those two guys. I haven't heard back from either.
I'll send you a bunch of places to contact. I can think of probably 5 or 6 off the top of my head.
Awesome.
Yeah, you might be able to get to BYO, or possibly even Beer Advocate might run an article for you too.
I'll definitely try. I hope so.
Probably not for free, but they might do it for cheap.
Well, cheap is a possibility. You never know. We might just have to take it out of Nicole's allowance, but.
I got you $1.
I did sell a temperature probe this week. I just shipped it today. So there's a couple.
You told them not to use it internally, right?
Yeah, not for use internally. So that's the Kickstarter. I do need help with development and testing of the web app, and then I also need help testing the store. And I'm going to make sure you guys have all have access as soon as I can give it to you. And that the issue with the host is resolved. As Damien asked, I'll put out a little test plan so you guys know what to click and kind of the things I want to make sure get checked. And then we'll go from there. So since Eric wasn't able to make it, that's basically all I've got because we can't really talk about firmware without the guy that's writing the firmware. So does anybody have any questions, concerns, anything they'd like to bring up, or would they like to just right now say, yeah, I'll do this for you, Adam, and you're awesome? Nothing?
So I think my question, and you and I have talked about this a bit, Adam, is what's next? So we're putting all the effort into the Kickstarter, but what is the 18-month or even the 8-month goal? What are the next events you're going to be doing? What are you taking BrewTroller after Kickstarter?
That's a good question. So post Kickstarter, post shipping all the rewards, because until the rewards are shipped, that's going to be my focus. But once the rewards are shipped, and whatever orders come in during that time as well, non-Kickstarter reward stuff. After all that's done, the goal is to look toward one of two things from a next business goal perspective, and that's going to be either launching the BX2, which is the basic, the economy version of this thing, possibly with its own Kickstarter, or I think the better option with the broader appeal is to start working on prototypes for modular plug-and-play BrewTroller. So, and Kevin heard me talk about this last night. So the concept behind this would be you would buy a controller, and it is generic in that it's not specific to your brewery, but then you would decide when or what kind of brewery you're going to have. So you're going to say, hey, Adam, I want an electric brewery. So you would buy the generic control panel plus the electric module, and then you would say, hey, Adam, I'm going to want to control valves and pumps, and I want to control 8 of them. So you would buy an 8-pump module or an 8-valve module, because they're basically the same thing. And they would be one-wire connection from the main controller to the modules. So at that point, all you would need to do is take the controller, which is built, sent to you, and ready to go, put it on your stand, however you want to do that, and then plug in the appropriate things, whether they be your elements, or if you're going to do gas, your solenoid valves, or whatever. So that's kind of the next product side of BrewTroller. From the business side, or from kind of growing the business as it exists, the only thing I have really planned, and this is just because I don't know well enough what events to attend yet, but I would like to, not for 2015, but for 2016, go to NHC and be a sponsoring, have a booth at NHC, which I know the old owner did in the past.
I'm sorry, what is NHC?
That's the National Home Brewing Conference. So that is the.
Sorry, I don't brew at home, so I don't know all these. I'm not plugged in. I'm not hip with the lingo.
Yeah. I understand. NHC is the American Home Brewers Association's annual member conference.
Okay.
And it is ginormous. Kyle, have you've been to one? You go to one?
I have not. I was going to go last year because it was in Michigan, but I didn't. I ended up going.
I know, like I said, I know the previous owner went a couple of years and set up a booth, and I think we could do the same thing. I don't have any clue what cost would be to do that yet, but I would start looking at it, assuming the Kickstarter is successful. And if anyone knows of any other appropriate events that would have a big enough audience outside of Bloomington Normal, I would be open to talking about those kinds of things. But and I will realistically probably need help, because even if Nicole goes with, we got a little rugrat who requires quite a bit of attention. So.
Well, part of the reason that I was asking about where you're going to be advertising at trade shows and things like that is so that I could plan ahead. I mean, it's my intention to be able to support you from a behind the scenes at a trade show, for example, but not necessarily up front being able to talk about the product in detail from a brewing perspective. I just don't have the experience. But you know, I can help set up and maintain and tear down a trade show booth, things like that. So, unless I'm racing.
Unless you're busy, which you're always busy. That reminds me. Does anybody have any desire to take on the project of building a custom Raspberry Pi image? Don't everybody jump at the idea. If you're talking, Kevin, I can't hear you.
No, Nicole muted him.
There. I was saying I have no idea how to do that.
So, and the reason I ask is for wait one. Are you still waiting?
We're just watching you in Nicole's camera. I see you.
This thing is heavy. So this is Brian's control panel. If you don't know who Brian is the owner of the Hop Shop. So you got a good idea what I'm talking about. And if you look inside, you'll notice there's a Raspberry Pi right there. So this is a concept that that I had that solves a lot of problems at an interesting price point. So the concept behind using the Raspberry Pi is that the Raspberry Pi acts as both a wireless bridge. So the BrewTroller can be plugged into the Ethernet port on the Pi, and then the Pi can be connected to your wireless network.
But so much more.
As well, the Pi can be your web server, so you're not dependent upon a connection to the internet, even if, if you're in a situation where there's no Wi-Fi to connect to anyway.
Wow, you really could take that really far because of the serial connection into the BrewTroller. Then you could have custom graphs and things on an LCD screen. I mean, that really could take it a long ways off of an LCD as opposed to into some type of, like a 7-inch touchscreen monitor.
Well, I get where you're going, and they.
Sorry, I went crazy.
The previous owners tried to go down that path a little bit. My take on it's a little different. I don't want anyone to be dependent upon, or I don't want to be selling or really promoting any specific interface. Meaning, I want a platform agnostic, hardware agnostic method of interfacing with the information that BrewTroller gives you. So
you don't want to sell brew stands.
I do want to sell brew stands, but I want the interface for a brew stand to be a mobile device or a computer, not a small screen that is, highly configured for BrewTroller. So my idea behind a brew stand would be it would of course have the onboard LCD that already exists that that functions well as it is as your primary way of getting to the board. But my vision for visualization of data, logging, charting, graphing, and control would be more of integrated stand or holder for a mobile device, whether that be a tablet or a phone or something, integrated into the actual control panel module itself. At least that's the concept I've come up with so far. And I've talked to a couple of manufacturers that do custom enclosures about these ideas, and they're all very feasible. It's just a matter of quantity, as is the case. So I get what you're saying, and the Raspberry Pi offers a lot of possibility, including like because it's already HDMI capable, just kind of a larger status monitor. So if, especially if you're looking at a commercial brewery or even a mid-sized craft brewery, the ability to be able to have a, let's say a 50-inch screen that you can see from all the way across the warehouse with the pertinent data would be of assistance, as well as being able to reach
That's all I was talking about.
Yeah. So yeah, you're right. The Raspberry Pi opens things up for a whole lot of possibilities. Oh, see you later, Wes. So yeah, that opens up for a lot of possibilities. But in order to make that feasible for kind of a production level, or in order to tell people, hey, this is a concept that we think you should integrate into your own DIY panel, I want to be able to offer a OS image that is pre-built, that has all of the IP table stuff set up, because that can be a little bit intimidating to a novice user of a Linux-based environment. So, but if no, I can do that. If no one feels comfortable creating a custom ISO or a custom image for Raspberry Pi, I can figure that out. That's not a big deal.
So I could probably do that for you. I just got to get a hold of a Raspberry Pi to actually do something with it. But I could do that for you. I know enough about that stuff to.
I could probably get your Raspberry Pi. That's pretty easy. So if I get you one, you want to do that for me?
Yeah, I can handle that for you.
Awesome. Beautiful. I'll make that happen. All right. So that was a bit of a tangent. Let's see. We were talking about
anything else on Kickstarter, or are we good on time schedule? And
I think we're good. I mean,
before I drop off, I want to make sure we're good there. And
yeah, I mean, unless you get so busy that you can't get to that video, I would really like to shoot for launching. Let me look at a calendar.
Considering it's the only thing that I have to do for this right now, other than testing storefront, it shouldn't be a problem.
Excellent. Wait
yeah,
for
and even if it's not until Tuesday or Wednesday of next week,
yeah.
At that point I'm done with classes. So,
I would like to shoot to start the Kickstarter on the 9th.
What day is that? What day of the week is that?
Saturday.
I'm trying to figure out if that's a good start date or not. I figured a Monday would be best.
Well, I
mean, I know it goes 30 days, but you think really every day is Cyber Monday. People sitting at work, looking through things, searching Hackaday.
I wonder if there's any statistical information about there about number of initial lift depending upon day. I wonder if there's any kind of information out there.
Since you're going over 30 days, heck, if you get a mention, get a mention in, if you get a mention on Engadget, that would be cool.
That would be awesome. Maybe awesome to be on Engadget or Hackaday or.
Really, Hackaday is the place to go.
So I think maybe what you might want to do on that one, Adam, is so obviously you guys set a target, right? So maybe set the target for the 9th or a day in that neighborhood. But then for the next couple of days, really hit, BrewTroller, or not BrewTroller, but the Brewing Network, the different podcasts, whoever, see who you can get with, who will do it. Yeah. And then you may want to adjust that date based on when you can actually get some exposure.
Well, that's true, especially if you could get kind of you could schedule an interview on a podcast on a launch day of the Kickstarter. That would be an interesting amount of lift to get started.
Well,
absolutely,
not just But over the 30 days, you're going to want to have a schedule laid out already of appearances.
Oh yeah, no
You're
doubt.
going to want to have 2 appearances a week, maybe on a podcast or maybe on a webcast, some type of, at least 1 a week. And
Oh
that's
yeah.
only 4. And then you're going to hit the brew forums hard.
Oh yeah. And my subreddit.
Yeah,
There
all
you go.
ones of you.
But yeah, I worry some of the more popular podcasts out there probably have that stuff scheduled at least for a couple weeks. So
Right.
you're not going to want to start your 30 days until you know that you can get this in 30 days.
That's true. That's a good thought. That is a very good thought. And part of me, if I had to do it all over again, I would probably take a year to plan this thing and be kind of ready for it. But and maybe you wouldn't be, but the sheer volume of people that are clamoring to purchase right now is astounding to me. And
Tell us a number. Give us an idea.
I'm getting 6 to 10 people a week emailing me saying, "Where can I buy one of these right now?" So
Okay,
for a product that was announced to
not
be
bad.
no longer in November, the word is out that the thing still exists, and people are waiting. And so I don't want to. Part of the push to get this done sooner, and I was hoping to get it done before now, is really to not lose whatever momentum already exists from just the word of mouth of the thing existing again. But I think you're right. I think we have to play it smart, and Kyle, that's a really good idea.
A quick question, just from a video standpoint. Do you have any video of brew days that I could use that you could throw into a Dropbox and send me?
I don't, and I thought about this
I know
week.
you've got a brew coming up this weekend, don't you?
Yeah, Big Brew Day, and I'll take a video while we're there.
Okay, and send that to me. Not long videos, like 30 seconds of just people brewing.
Is the play touch or the flip okay?
Whatever will take decent video with what you're doing. Your phone will probably do much better than whatever that is.
Okay.
All right. The other thing too is that if there are people in it, I need release forms.
Even in a public event.
No, we won't worry about it for this.
The other option, and I've thought about. I just don't know how to approach him. So Santino recorded a video of a brew day, and he did a great job. And I had talked with him a little bit about doing this video, but we were just never able to make it line up. I don't know how comfortable I feel with asking another videographer if we can use some of his footage. That may be bad form.
It's not bad, but you might have to pay him for it.
Right.
So, but really, if you could just, I don't know. You know what you could do? Never mind. I'm not even going to do that.
I could do a lot of things.
Okay. Nope, I'm done.
All right. So I'll take video this weekend at Big Brew Day.
Yep, and I may or may not use it.
Whatever. If it works, it does. If it doesn't, it does. And yes. So, anything else? Anybody have any other ideas?
You might try for Big Brew Day for doing the videos too. I don't know if you're worried about the phone videos or whatever, but I don't know if Chris Willie's planning on coming, but I know he does that stuff. Like, that's one of his hobbies, I think.
Chris or Santino?
Chris. Santino as well. They both do it, but you might be able to get one of them to do it.
That's true.
I'll
I'll send Chris a message.
Yeah, I don't know what they're planning on doing, if they're going to be there or not. But
I haven't seen him accept the invite yet, but that doesn't necessarily mean that, because he was there last year and accepted the invite. So we'll figure something out. I mean, I could even bring my GoPro and futz around with that too. We got options, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, I mean, the video looks pretty good as it is.
Yeah.
It's still a rough cut, but I'm quite satisfied with the way it looks. and the talent involved. Spectacular. So yeah. And Kyle, if you have any ideas specifically about any other specific blogs or podcasts that that you listen to, let me know. Or feel free to reach out. Reach out and say, hey, I'm helping BrewTroller get started again. They're doing a Kickstarter. We're interested in, getting some exposure. What do you think? Kind of thing. Feel free, or send them to me. Either way, it's fine.
Just off the top of my head, I know you might reach out to Homebrew Finds.
Okay, that's a good idea.
And then obviously, so you got your BrewTroller Reddit set up. I highly recommend that you check out the /r/beer and /r/homebrewing.
I've checked out /homebrewing, but I haven't checked out beer yet.
I spend a good bit of time in the homebrewing one, so.
Okay.
Good people.
Excellent. Oh, my Mac is slow today. All right. Anything else? Anybody have any other questions or concerns or suggestions or anything? No? All right. Well, thank you for your time, and I'll let you know about the website. And again, if you can think of any podcast or anything, just send me a message. All right.
Cool.
Bye bye.
Thanks.